South Africa is one of my favorite countries I've ever had the opportunity to travel to. Heck, I should know because I actually shot a movie there, which I'll probably talk about later on in this episode just because, you guys probably all want to know about that. But with South Africa, you got a country that's got a lot of in-depth history for the good and for the bad. You got colonialization and apartheid and all that stuff, and you've also got some really cool history about certain tribes that are within the country. And with that, today we're looking at the top 10 scary mythological monsters from South Africa, brew. Starting off with number 10, we got the Tokulosh. Tokulosh, I don't really know exactly how to pronounce this. It's kind of a hard thing to find online how to pronounce it. I wish I had some South African friends right next door that I could just ask. Pretty much, this is your basic form of a gremlin, but the South African version. Originating from Zulu mythology, this creature basically comes from a shaman who sends it out to cause sickness or even death on an individual. And they also call this creature a water spirit, but according to mythology, the only way to prevent this thing from coming into your room and getting you is to put bricks under the supports of your bed. Apparently, the Tokulosh doesn't like bricks. I don't blame him. I'm more of a mahogany sort of guy. I like wood. Not that kind of wood. Now, the reason this whole creature was created was to give reason of why people fell asleep and died. Basically, I guess they didn't think that a heart attack would actually come into play or something like that. But other than that, this creature's been noted in many different forms of songs and even stories that come from South Africa. And according to history, there's been some stories of some women being attacked by these little hairy beasts that also have big penises. Maybe they're just living out a weird fantasy. That's what I'm thinking. Number 9, you got the Groot Slang. Basically one of my favorite ones on this list. I mean, let's be perfectly honest, on this list there's going to be a lot of snake-themed monsters. The Groot Slang monster is said to have home in the caves of Richterveld in South Africa. Old mythology states that this creature is as old as the world itself, and it is like one big, powerful snake that the gods made. One of the problems was when God or the gods, I'm not really sure if there was a plural there, made this creature, they realized that, whoops, it was a little bit of a mistake. So what they did from there, they pretty much split the creature into two different animals, and thus you get the elephant and the snake. As a matter of fact, this creature got a lot of attention back in 1917 when an Englishman named Peter Grayson went looking for treasure. Apparently he was attacked by lions, but a lot of the locals said, nah, he was attacked by a Groot Slang. Yeah. Number 8, the Ninkinenka. Kinda sounds more like an ethnic slur if you ask me. I really hope it doesn't. A little bit different from the monsters on this list. I'm not sure how terrifying this one actually is, but it is your typical monster. Although it originated in Western Africa, there are some stories of it being seen down in South Africa. And basically, it is your classic dragon, and you can't have scary monsters without the good old-fashioned famous dragon. As a matter of fact, it's one of the more recent spottings of all the creatures on this list because in 2006, some people said they saw it in Gambia. The expedition that was looking for this specific creature said that it was anywhere between 30 to 50 feet. And on top of that, this expedition claimed to have found and obtained a scale from the creature. The problem is when they found the whole thing, they realized that, well, it was actually just a celluloid film. Probably celluloid film from the camera that they were going to take that typical blurry shot from. Number 7, Mamlambo. It's just got the coolest name of them all. Basically, another form of giant snake, but this one's just a little bit different. It is also known to the Zulu as the goddess of the rivers. This creature got a huge boost in popularity in 1997 when people said that they spotted it near Mount Aleph. People stated that it was 67 feet long and it had the head of a horse. As a matter of fact, some of these other snakes that I will list apparently also had the head of a horse. It seemed to be a very common thing within mythological snake monsters in South Africa. On top of that, it had the neck of a snake and the body of a fish and little tiny legs. Don't ask me what that even looks like, but apparently at night it also glowed green. Apparently he's Mr. Burns from The Simpsons and he's just glowing, glowing, glowing all night long. Also in 1997 at a village near where this thing was seen, it said that 9 people died and it was because of this creature. On top of that, according to the myth, it's apparently a brain-sucking creature. So it gets right in there and it sucks your brains out. It's not a zombie, it's just the brain-eating son of a gun. And of course, for that one, people went looking for this creature, but to date, there's been absolutely no evidence of this thing actually existing. By the way, guys, before I continue in this video, I just want to let you know that this is kind of new content for us, doing like scary mythological creatures and stuff from countries. So if you're liking this and you want more content around this, just hit that like button so I know. Yeah. Number 6, the lightning bird. Now this one's real interesting. This creature came about probably out of confusion that people thought the hammer-cobbed bird was in fact the lightning bird. Originating in South Africa, a lot of tribes that were either close to Zulu or Pondo believed in this creature. Basically, it was a bird that was the size of a person and fed on your blood. And people believed back in the day that the fat within the bird could just help this thing get powers to explode into flame and cause lightning bolts to strike on its victims. That's got a lot of cool powers. Like, sorry, all you Pokemon out there, eat your heart out. This thing is way better. Of course, there's a lot of confusion about what this creature actually was. Some people are saying, yeah, it's just a vampire because apparently it turned into a human being when it sucked on the blood of people. And then when it sucked on the blood of birds, it turned into a bird. So, you know, it's also a shapeshifter, apparently. As a matter of fact, some people believe in this so much that in 2005, this is kind of a bit of a sad story, that a 2-year-old boy was killed because a man thought he was a lightning bird. Or a lightning bird, I should say. Number 5, the Colomo Dulo. This has got to be one of the biggest creatures on this list because he ate everything. Or she, it could be a she. Short one here, but apparently this was one of the first creations when the world started way back in the day. Story is that this giant creature ate all the animals in the world and all the people of the Basuto tribe, except for one woman. She apparently gave birth to her son, Ninkinenka, who apparently returned back to the village and was like, yo, where did everybody go? And she was like, this monster just ate everybody. And Ninkinenka, being enraged, decided to get revenge, and he was pointed to the direction which looked like a giant mountain because he was that big and fat from eating everybody. And smart Ninkinenka maneuvered around him and split open his belly, killing the creature, and of course freeing everybody, all the animals, and the people to repopulate the earth. So we can all blame Ninkinenka for the overpopulation issues that we have today. Ninkinenka, you done wrong! Number 4, the Ikanyamba. I think that's how you pronounce it, but either way, it is a snake that has got one ugly face. I mean, you thought my face was just, no, this is like, yeah, my head on a snake. Now, it's been said to have been spotted at Howick Falls in South Africa, and previous to other ones, some people say that this creature's got the head of a horse. I mean, it doesn't really look like a horse to me. It looks like sheer terror. As a matter of fact, there have been even paintings on caves of these monsters in the KwaZulu-Natal area. And sometimes they're called rain animals because they were only seen during the times of great terrible storms. That or they were the cause of these storms. It's never quite 100% what people believed. And it's funny, even in 1998, this creature was blamed for a really bad storm within South Africa. There's of course a photo of this creature that suggests this creature exists. But many people say it's what you call an anguilla marmorata, which is a freshwater eel that can be at least 6 feet in length. Number 3, the alaba. This is, okay, it's not a scary one, guys, but I just wanted to throw this one in. It's South Africa's version of a unicorn, okay? Okay, it's not actually really a unicorn. It's the closest thing. It's apparently got, 2 horns on the side of its head, and apparently alaba is another word for rhinoceros. Okay, I know you guys are getting all mad because you're like, yo, it's 10 scary mythological monsters from South Africa. Let's just be real. Okay, the real title should have been, it's 9 plus 1 unicorn. Okay, all right, we good? Number 2, an original one on this list for monsters, and that is the umdlebe. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, it's a tree that kills. This creature was made popular after a report on November 2nd, 1882 by Reverend G.W. Parker. He described this thing as a somewhat dead-looking tree that had, kind of greenish leaves around it, but the weird part was it had skulls, skeletons, and all that sort of stuff around its base. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't think it was a tree. I would think it's just a sacrificial point, and I'd be like, I'm getting out of here. Apparently, this tree was very, very poisonous. I mean, even in a minor setting, it would give you either a headache or bloody eyes. This tree, however, administered its poison through the gas and air around it. And it's also said that the soil immediately around it was completely lethal, so if people went to chop the tree down, it would kill you. And that's why there's skeletons around it. Yay! It's like a moat of skeletons, to keep the animals away so they don't eat their nuts. According to mythology, the Zulu people also sacrificed goats to the Umklebi tree, so, you know, the tree wouldn't be so mad, because that makes a lot of sense. However, though, this is probably all debunked because, I mean, it's been over 100 years since this thing was first reported, and nobody's seen a thing like that since. And number one, probably my most favorite one, is the Mermaids of the Karoo. This one goes way back. As a matter of fact, it's commonly believed that the Karoo at one point was, you know, underwater, and that's why there were mermaids that were in the area. And this myth goes so far back that in the Klein Karoo region, there were rock paintings of people with fishtails. As well, in 1975, there was a farmer in Mullins River who said that he saw this creature. It lived beneath the waters. And what makes this one dangerous, I mean, mermaids are supposed to be all pretty and all that. Well, apparently they lure people in, snatch them, and bring them down to a watery grave. Don't ask me why people are believing that there are mermaids in the Karoo region, which is like basically the driest region of South Africa. Maybe it's just to remind people that water is very, very precious. I don't know. But there you go, guys. That is me looking at the 10 scariest mythological monsters in South Africa. I'm not gonna lie, before I did this video, I was like, are there actually any scary monsters? I don't really know. So that's it, but hold up. Before you get out of here, I want to let you guys know two really awesome, important things. First of all, number one, if you guys want to learn more about South Africa, we got a really cool South African playlist that we talk about the great things of the country. I'm going to put that at the end of this video. On top of that, I also made this video to tailor to my South African viewers because I wanted to let you guys know that I am in a movie that's coming out on February 8th. Don't know when you guys are watching this. It might be after the movie, but it's called Sew the Winter to My Skin. I'm going to put the link in the description box below. Go check out the trailer. You can also get your tickets online. And for me, it was just one of the best experiences that I ever had. I play one of the supporting roles called the Scarface Kid. Basically, I'm not a good guy. I'm part of a militia that's chasing down a black man who's stealing from our farm. And on top of that, it's based on a real story about the man named John Kepe, who is pretty much like your Robin Hood figure of South Africa. So check it out. Other than that, my name's Dave Wapple, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Okay, so here is the playlist that I was telling you guys to check out. On top of that, in the description box below is the link to the trailer. Feel free to check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Bye!